Well, it happened. Is she crying? You know, all the tears and the heartache? No? Turns out Nancy Mace doesn't have a tear to shed for this one. What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. And yes, today, Monday, September 8th, the House Oversight Committee, well, the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee, released the actual birthday booklet, or at least some pages from it as far as we know, made it public for the world to see. Not a reporting on Washington Post. You remember that? Yeah, that's the one where Trump said didn't exist. It's all a hoax, like everything else. And he was going to sue Rupert Murdoch for putting that out there. Turns out, I can't wait to see the discovery of that. Because this that we just got right here, yeah, that's from the Epstein estate. Now, not only did this come out, the original from the estate, from the book, the birthday book, yeah, that doesn't exist. This also came out. No, let me make it full screen. Read this. New page from Epstein's birthday book. Epstein and a longtime Mar-a-Lago member joking about selling a fully depreciated woman to Donald Trump for $22,500. Now I'm wondering, Nancy Mace, hearing this, with your history, are you going to cry now? Because the last time you walked out because you couldn't take the strain of one of the actual survivors telling you those horrible stories, and you walked out crying, all red-faced, and then went right on Twitter the next day to say that Donald Trump was somehow the savior of these women, turning her back on every single one of those survivors, not even 24 hours later. Will you cry now? And it turns out the Democrats can fight for something. It turns out they can. I want to talk about why, but first I want to ask, when Marjorie Taylor Greene said this,
as you're questioning, why can't they just name the names? What you don't realize is they just told their stories of being raped and being abused, being victimized, being manipulated, being coerced, and basically held in a prison of captivity of sexual abuse while they were young teenagers and extremely young, vulnerable women. And in Jeffrey Epstein's home and the places they went with him, they saw the most powerful people in the world in his pictures, and they saw him with those people. Can you imagine how terrifying it would be to name names like that? These are some of the richest, most powerful people in the world that could sue these women into poverty and homelessness. Yeah, it's a scary thing to name names, but I will tell you, I'm not afraid to name names. And so if they want to give me a list, I will walk in that Capitol on the House floor and I'll say every damn name that abused these women.
So Marjorie, you going to say that name? Are you going to say that name in the halls of Congress? I can't wait. I know you've turned a new leaf, and I believe in you, Marjorie. Now, I'm glad to see the Democrats fighting back. I am extremely happy to tell you that I don't think that they did this alone, and you can have hope. You see, last Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, there were protests that started with this.
Monday, September 1st, Tuesday, September 2nd, and yesterday, Wednesday, September 3rd, a metric fuck ton of liberals, progressives, Democrats, leftists, and independent Americans, which I call the American left, gathered from all across the country and met in Washington, D.C. Then we marched our happy asses back to the congressional office buildings, and we proceeded to go inside each of the three buildings. Peacefully, not like those MAGA fucks that stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6th and tried to stop the lawful democratic process and peaceful exchange of power in the process, pissing and shitting all over the place, or beating cops half to death, or destroying centuries-old furniture. No, we went in there respectfully and peacefully.
You know what? We're going to make sure that you're voted out. Fascism always fails. The other right side. You can't show up to your own district.
But I digress. Now, I have an update that says we finally got the Democrat establishment's attention with the removal coalition. I guess it took civil rights warrior Al Green to finally get these motherfuckers to pay attention. Or maybe it was the enormous crowd of American citizens that went directly to their offices, which is the most effective form of making yourself and your opinions known to them.
Yeah, it's working. Direct action. You can do it too, right in your state house. Is now saying maybe we can call for that impeachment. And if you thought that was ridiculous, it'll never happen. Watch what happens when you realize your power. Show up, direct action. But on Wednesday, that protest ended with these young women.
For consequence, for all. Consequences are not about punishment alone. They exist to deter future harm, to protect vulnerable, and to set a standard of justice. If Ghislaine Maxwell were pardoned, it would undermine all the sacrifices I made to testify and make mockery of mine and all survivors' suffering.
They wanted access to his circle and his money. Their choice to align with his power left those of us who had been harmed by this man and his associates feeling very isolated.
And then one day, the lawyer said that everything was just going to go away. Like nothing happened. I didn't need to testify. When I asked him why, he gave no explanation. That was it. So why? Why was I never called to testify then? We could have saved so many women. We could have saved so many lives from being abused. Why did he get away with it in 2008?
And I have a feeling that this type of protest, direct action, forcing the media to look at it, may have been what put this over the line, over the hump. Do not fear. Do not give up hope. It is working. We can do this. Direct action. Direct action. There's more coming, and I'm going to let you know everything I can every time we're there. And I want you to show up. You heard from Big Sarge and Sons of Liberty. That lets you know it's working. Do not despair, because tomorrow we fight. Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads. It's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works. Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.